Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro announced the beginning of the great stage of popular self-government to advance in the construction of a new state based in direct democracy. In Russia, at least 6 people were arrested for their links to an international terrorist group that intend to commit a series of attacks in the southeast of the country. Israeli forces have carried out an intense incursion into the occupied West Bank, resulting in the death of at least 11 Palestinians in the region. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. Now we begin going live with the mobilizations in Caracas in Plaza Venezuela, where the people are showing support to the President Nicolás Maduro after 1 month of the presidential elections, where he was elected President of Venezuela. Gladys Quesada with the details. Hi Gladys, can you tell us about it?
Hi Anna, thanks for this contact and the time with you, our audience, and teleSUR English as a whole. Currently, I'm at CanTV, one of the many points of this march and the concentration of the people from sectors that are popular or working class, because they came here to celebrate the victory of Nicolás Maduro Moros, the president of the Bolivarian nation of Venezuela. I have to say, this is one of the largest march that has been held here in Caracas, because usually, traditionally, this is the point from the march is going on. You know, the march, this is in counterpoint, the gathering point. And in this occasion, that point, the gathering one, was in Plaza Venezuela. There, the first vice president of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela and also the Minister of the Interior Relationships and Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, he was addressing the crowd, and also he was explaining to the people the need for unity, the need to combat and face the difficulties and the attacks by the extreme right wing and also the radical terrorist groups. I have to say and I have to notify that yesterday the electric grid, the power grid in the nation and precisely here in Caracas was a victim or suffered an attack, a terrorist attack that provoked a blackout in the upper western zone of the city. That's to say Boleita Norte, one of the many regions in the north of the city and also in the west part of the city. But as we were referring, this march is held or is being held despite this kind of attacks, these terrorist actions. And here today there is a march by the people of different working sectors here in the city. Also, the bikers, the motorbikers, as you can see behind me, they are also marching in support of President Nicolás Maduro Moros and in support of the Bolivarian Revolution, and many of them are also rejecting the interference in the internal affairs of Venezuela. They are just, you know, they are doing noises because of that's the way they have to support the president. They are marching. This is the way that people marches in Venezuela, and I have to say, the motorizados, which is the bikers here in Caracas and in Venezuela, it was a sector that was, under discrimination by the radical extreme wing. And back in 2014 and 2017, they were attacked, physically attacked in ambushes here in the city. They were also tried to be slaughtered. But right now, the revolution has, gave them this opportunity to march, to express themselves, and they are included in the project of the Socialist Bolivarian Revolution. As you can see behind me, people are still marching, the bikers are still going on, but this march is coming from Plaza Venezuela and is going through the center of the city, downtown Caracas, towards the seat of the government, Miraflores Palace. There will be a contact, an encounter between the authorities of the nation and the people that is mobilizing in support of President Nicolás Maduro Moros and rejecting the attacks, the attempts against justice, against the law, and against the institutions of Venezuela. Ana, we are back to you.
Thank you, Gladys, very much for your explanation and your presence there in Plaza Venezuela with the people in support of the President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro. And now we continue with the news. The President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, announced changes in his executive cabinet in order to adjust the strength of the government to better meet the needs of the people. During the meeting for the balance of the second national popular consultation, the president highlighted the potential of this electoral process held on Sunday, August 25th. In addition, he points out that there is a participatory democratic conscience in the people of Venezuela. He also highlighted that the country has reached a new point of maturity to reach a democratic state. In the sense that the head of state presented the changes in his government cabinet in order to consolidate a new phase of the construction of the popular self-government.
Voy a hacer una renovación de la mitad del gabinete.
I am going to make a renewal of half of the construction of territorial socialism, of communal democracy, of direct democracy, of the new system of government that breaks with the concept of superficial aerial protocolary government. There will already be an executive cabinet. I am going to announce the necessary changes in different ministries to couple the strength of the popular revolutionary and socialist government of Venezuela and give the order that this stage that is opened with the victory of July 28th, is the stage of officialdom. Enough of lies and deception.
Superficial. Ya basta de la superficialidad. Ya basta de la mentira, del engaño.
Let's take a very short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to From the South. In the United States, Special Counsel Jack Smith released a newly revised indictment against former President Donald Trump, which brings the court proceeding in line with the recent Supreme Court ruling. The substitute indictment was filed Tuesday in the case of electoral interference in the 2020 elections. The new indictment lowers the allegations against the far-right businessmen and adjusts them to the ruling issued by the highest court in the United States on July. In Russia, at least 6 people were arrested for their link to an international terrorist group that intended to commit a series of attacks in the southeast of the country. After the arrest, Russian Federal Security Service officials said that the criminals were planning sabotage and terrorist attacks against police officers, forces, and religious sites. During the raids, the investigators seized a handmade bomb as well as components for the elaboration of explosive devices and firearms, among other materials with which they intended to carry out plans to generate unease in the population. And now we change topics. The Israeli regime escalates its genocidal actions in the occupied West Bank, killing 11 Palestinians in less than 12 hours. Jenin's governor said it was the largest operation to take place in the area since 2002. The regional leader reported that Israel is threatening to occupy one of its hospitals where are 200 workers and more than 150 patients. The situation is extremely tense as resistance factions respond to the occupation attacks. Also in Palestine, Doctors Union denounced attacks by Israeli occupation against healthcare facilities. Health authorities report that thousands of Palestinians received treatment while the Israeli army made aggressions against hospitals not only endangers their health but also violates international humanitarian law. Health personnel urged their colleagues to support and confirm the emergency situation. On the other hand, authorities demand the immediate intervention of the international community and the International Federation of Red Cross Societies to protect Palestinian healthcare facilities. China's foreign minister published a report revealing that the National Endowment for Democracy non-profit foundations promotes subversive and destabilizing activities in several countries around the world. The report shows that the foundation, established in 1983 by then U.S. President Ronald Reagan, use so-called human rights movements to demand changes in the government. It finances media and digital platforms of NGOs to train and instigate what they call color revolution. In Cuba alone, the need has found 54 anti-Cuban organizations since 2017. In Mexico, they support Mexicans against corruption and the Institute for Competitiveness, through which they have tried to stop important social gains for Mexican people, such as the electronic power reform. This Wednesday, traders in Pakistan met on strike, shutting down their businesses in all major cities and urban areas to protest a rise in electricity costs and new taxes imposed for shop owners. The government of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has steadily raised electricity prices since Pakistan last month struck a deal with the International Monetary Fund for a new $7 billion loan.
Inflation is so high, it has become so difficult for us to run businesses. People are being forced to leave this country. There is no point in doing business. Electricity bills are so high. One can either pay the electricity bill or meet one's other household expenditures. So many taxes have been imposed.
The government should give us relief. The whole market is closed in protest. Everyone is supporting the strike because no one is breaking even. How will people pay? They cannot pay from their own pockets. It is so difficult to do business in Pakistan. That's why people are leaving the country.
Let's take our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to watch interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. We'll find a short break, don't go away. Welcome back. In Burkina Faso, government authorities have confirmed at least 200 fatalities in the terrorist attack perpetrated in the north-central part of the country. The brutal attack in the city of Basalak is attributed to the terrorist organization Jamaat Nusrat ul-Islam, similar to Al-Qaeda operating in West Africa. Jamaat Nusrat ul-Islam grew stronger while Western powers such as France claim to be cleansing the Sahel of extremism. The spokesman of the Kenyan hospital, René Sawadogo, confirmed that in addition to the deaths, there are 104 wounded. A World Health Organization Emergency Commission of African scientists hold the international community responsible for the aggressive outbreak of mpox affecting the continent. Commission leader Dr. Dimian Ogoyena said the decades of neglect and inability of the international community have led to the spread of new, more transmissible version of the virus that countries with few resources cannot stop. Ogoyena states that for years, mpox spreads only silently affecting homosexuals or bisexual men. Now, with the inability of other countries to contain the virus in populations with low immunity, children and women suffer from it and even become potential fatalities. A newly released from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said years of underfunding of humanitarian aid and increasing needs have put millions of Haitians at risk of chronic vulnerability. The UN Humanitarian Office said resolving the situation will require the international community and donors to increase funding for both UN and non-governmental organizations' relief operations. Months of armed violence have led to a deterioration of Haiti's humanitarian crisis that has left nearly 600,000 people displaced. And now we change topics. We go to sports. The 70th edition of the Paralympic Games kick off on Wednesday with an opening ceremony at the Palace de la Concorde and the Champs-Élysées. This weighed with an expected audience of 15,000 spectators. The ceremony marks the beginning of the 12th day sporting meet in Paris City, still enthusiastic after the successful recent Olympics. The Games host 4,400 Paralympic athletes from around the world who compete in 549 medals events across 22 sports. And we go to culture now. In Italy, the 81st Venice Film Festival officially began on Wednesday, marking the start of the prestigious film celebration that will run through September the 7th. The present edition of the festival promises star-studded performances and a screening of anticipated films like Todd Phillips, Joker, Foliadu, Pablo Larraín's film Maria, starring Angelina Jolie and Pedro Almodóvar's first English language production. The event will also feature a selection of films by Latin American directors with 3 South American filmmakers. Larraín from Chile, Walter Salles from Brazil, and Luis Ortega from Argentina competing for the Golden Latin Award. In this context, at the inaugural press conference, French actress jury president Isabelle Huppert touched on the current state of cinema. And with that, we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials around Facebook, on X, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English and from the south of Marmarrero, thank you for watching.